I can't tell you how inspired I am when I talk to all of you and learn about your businesses, why you started your business, why you do what you do, and how much you enjoy helping people, because that's a common thread among all of you. And so it's really nice to have all of you come together and learn about each other and really continue to grow this. So honored to have you all here and being a part of this. And we have an amazing speaker today that I'm really excited about. But before Wendi comes up here and give her an intro, I want to have one of our Rooster members come up and share, because he's just been doing amazing things within our community and has just really taken on a role of participating to really help grow his business. So Anthony, you want to come up? Anthony Bart, he is the founder of the Bart organization, which does marketing services, SEO in particular, and he's just been amazing. So I just wanted you to share a little bit.
Thank you for the introduction. I literally just woke up like 30 minutes ago now. I am late. Slept right through my alarm. I just wanted to just say kind of what Shayna was saying is I've been a part of this group for about 6 months now, and I just kind of show up every month and try to meet 2 or 3 new people. And the great thing about Rooster is it's not just like the core group of, 100, 150 Roosters. Everybody knows people. So everybody has an extra 50 people, extra 100 people they know. So you're not just tapping into that little group. I met a client through a Rooster. It was Umbaji, I don't even think she's here today, but she invited me for the massage. I got the massage at her parlor. I ended up meeting the owner of the studio, and I got a client that way. So it's I think the power is not only in the numbers here, but in the numbers outside of the group. So that's pretty much all I want to share. But
yeah, and again, I wanted to just highlight Anthony. It's really cool because he has been working with a lot of people in the Rooster community, and he helps small businesses really grow their online presence. And I know for everyone that's a really daunting thing to think about, how do I get more exposure? How do people find me? And he's really an expert at that, and he really loves, helping smaller businesses, because it's important for all of us, especially, right, if you have a location, especially if you're local, it's really, really important. So we appreciate you and all that you do.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So thanks, Anthony. All right, so without further ado, I want to introduce our speaker, Wendi Blum. And I saw Wendi speak maybe, I don't know if it was a year ago at Conscious Co-op, and I was so impressed by what you shared. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of background, but Wendi comes from the pharmaceutical industry, where she had a very successful career in sales, and then decided that she wanted to do something on her own. Maybe she found a little bit more passion and started her own coaching business, writing. She's written 5 books. Now she coaches the coaches, and she has entrepreneurial programs that support other people that want to start their own businesses. She does retreats. She just came back from Bali. And she's just doing a lot of amazing things. So I wanted her to come and share with you her story and some tips she has for your business. So please welcome Wendi. Oh, and we have a microphone! Yay!
Wow, we put good energy on this. So you guys, we've been working on the microphone and it wasn't working. And then everybody came into the space, and then all of a sudden the microphone is working. Don't you love that?
It's a beautiful thing.
Cool. So I am really honored and excited to be here today, because I have felt the vibe of this group without ever having to come to a meeting. I have goosebumps even saying that. It's just something about the feeling of being authentic, really the true bonding and connections. I love how casual everyone is, because listen, we have our own businesses and wearing so many hats. It's kind of like that concept of Steve Jobs, take that one idea, all those decisions that we have to make and simplify our lives so that we can really step into our passion and purpose. So today, I'm going to share with you ideas and concepts that you have heard before. And what I have found is that many times I hear something and I hear it over and over again, but sometimes it's that 10th time, maybe it's that 100th time that I get that light bulb moment and I say, wow, now I finally get that, and now I can actually apply that. So it's my hope and desire here today. We're going to be informal, and I'd like to make it interactive and actually fun. You guys into fun? I know you guys are into fun. Woo! Yes, yes, yes. And so to have fun. Shanna mentioned that I came from the pharmaceutical industry, and I really got a lot out of, I appreciated that industry so much. I worked in it for close to 30 years, but there were parts of my creative self, you know, we had so many rules and regulations, and so many times I was just going through automatic and didn't have the flexibility to actually step into the truth of who I am. So we get to do that here.
Yay!
Yay! Woo! And early in the morning, who's got all those emojis? I think those are the cutest things. Let me see all those emojis. Oh my, yeah, the thumbs up, the rooster. I love that. Wow, look at it all. The celebration, the big smile. What is that, like a massage? What?
Yep.
Yeah, she's gonna, you have a massage. Yeah. Someone needs to take a picture of that. So cute. So this talk I actually did in Bali. This was really cool. There are opportunities everywhere. So I was going to Bali to take a retreat. I partner with someone that does yoga and meditation, i.e. the mind-body part. And then I focus on personal growth and self-development and entrepreneurship. And I was going out early. And I had this idea that maybe there's a group of entrepreneurs in Bali. Bali has become one of those digital nomad hubs. There are 3 parts of the world that are known that draw in these digital nomads. I mean, isn't it cool to think that you can work from anywhere in the world? And so one of them is Colombia, South America, Thailand, and Bali. So I'm like, I know there are some entrepreneurs somewhere that maybe I could get together with and give a presentation to. So they have those co-work spaces there, and Ubud is known as the spiritual mecca. A lot of people travel into Ubud. That was part of the movie Eat, Pray, Love. And so I was able to give this presentation there to just a couple weeks ago. I'm really a little crazed about the science of productivity because I come from that world and I couldn't figure out why I was there. And so the mind piece, the meditation, how many of you guys meditate? We've got Sunny here. Oh, like, let's see the hands. Like, really, that meditate. Sunny does beautiful gong meditation, sound healing, and we have probably some other sound healing in the room, and qigong, and healing, Julie, and so this piece is so important for our performance and productivity. And then the body piece, I think it was Reba that just mentioned to me that you looked like you lost a few pounds. And what happened recently is that I went on a detox. And I found at night I would eat cheese and I would drink wine, and each week or each month I was gaining weight. And in 8 months, I gained 10 to 12 pounds. And that's a real thing. And that affects our mindset when it comes to our performance and our business. I thought about it. I thought about how I looked at my clothing. I do a lot of public speaking, and I just launched my YouTube channel. So although we try not to just focus on our physical, I'm like, I can't put that video up there. My arms don't look good, or I can see all these lumps and bumps, and as I'm turning like this in my dress, like that's what I would focus on instead of focusing on the message. And yes, I would still like put the video up and but it didn't feel good to do that. So I want to kind of draw all that into the conversation. The reason why I made a change in my life at the time that I did, which was at 50. So at the age of 50, I resigned from the pharmaceutical industry. And I had always felt more inclined to be holistic, but I didn't know what that looked like. And I just started taking a hobby of mine, which was affirmations and daily declarations, and putting them on t-shirts, and just very, 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 very part-time. I would go to a trade show, I would go to an event, I would take a table and I would sell the t-shirts, and that felt good. It felt so good. It felt better than I felt Monday through Friday in my 12 to 14 hour days. And by the way, there's weekends, so now I'm not taking any days off. I'm working selling these t-shirts with these positive messages on them. And I would work these long hours at the trade show, but that would feel like nothing to me. Can you guys relate? Is that a giant yes on that? Yes. Like a yes, yes. That's why we do what we do, and why we can put the energy in that we put into our business. So these are my guys. They're even a little older right now, Daniel and Corey. But I looked at them, and I was in my pharmaceutical career, I felt so much stress and pressure, and I was not my best self, for sure. And then on the weekend, I started selling those t-shirts, and the kids thought I was cool, because then they would like say, Mom, can I give a t-shirt to my girlfriend? You know, so they thought I was a cool mom. And it actually helped me to develop my relationship, grow my relationship with my kids, and they got to see me make a change, that it's never too late. And I still think about that for them when they go through challenges, and no matter what they're going through, that we are the walking role models for our family. And so today I'm going to share the brain technology around high performance, also the #1 mistake entrepreneurs make in their business, although that kind of is an umbrella over some other mistakes, and listen, we learned from our mistakes, and then the 5 key habits, and that's another area I'm really passionate about. So I'm going to jump right in, and I brought some little goodies. So I like to travel with my brain. I want more than one. So, so this represents the brain. I'm going to put it right there for you guys to look at. And I have, over the last decade, just been studying why it is that some people achieve more success or have more energy in their business, or can move through the obstacles and the many challenges in their business. And what's interesting are the stats. This was actually reversed for me. So what percent of the new businesses do you think last 2 years? Someone that launches their business.
10%.
10%.
Less.
30%. 20%. You know what's really interesting about it? It's more like 65, 70% are still in business. So this was reverse than what I thought. But where you see the decline is at 5 years. At 5 years, that's where you see the 10 to 15% that are still in business. Because the first 2 years, like you're still, like you got the passion and you're trying something new. So you can move through those obstacles those first couple years. And then what happens? Then you get completely exhausted, right? Can you guys relate to that? Too? So we need some tools in the toolbox. And this part, any of this look familiar to anyone here? A few of you. So our thoughts influence and become our reality, and mindset is 90% of the results that we achieve. And even though we need the skill set, Anthony, with SEO, like we need you all day long, and internet marketing, like we need that, like we need the skill set, but we need the mindset that I'm actually going to work with somebody that can help me in that area, or I'm going to develop my own abilities in certain areas. So it does boil back down to the mindset. So this picture right here, right? So picture this is all going on. This is everything that we touch, everything that we do. This is our inspiration from the inside out. This is our brain, the Nike saying, just do it, just do it, just do it. And so we're always having this dialogue. So this about the neurocircuits, neurons that fire together, wire together, so repeated behavior gets what, and by the way, good and bad habits get wired, hardwired in, and they trigger our future. So I have some gifts for you. Oh, by the way, I'm a note taker, and I'm like a note card person. If anybody wants, like if you hear something that's an aha or something you want to write down, and I'm just going to pass out these note cards, and they're different colors. So just if anybody wants, you guys can have. So I like creating systems. So this is called Flourish, Grow, Thrive, Prosper. It's a planner for your business and other aspects of your life. So I'm just going to throw this out there as like a little giveaway. I'm going to do a few of these. So how many neurons do we have in the brain? Any takers on that? How many? Billions. How many? 7? You know, we could say like a range, or depends on who you're asking about, right? Some people for sure seem like they have 7, and sometimes we're like working on 7. A trillion. I knew you guys are gonna. All right, I'm gonna say it's billions. So now we'll just add to how many billions?
It's 100 billion.
Bingo. Let's see the emoji. Woohoo! It's 100 billion. Okay, we're done. Oh, right there. Okay, it's gonna come back. It's coming over to you. 100 billion. 100 billion. Next question is, how much does your brain weigh? 8? That would be good. Like that would be very good.
3 pounds?
3 pounds. Reba got that. 3 pounds. Okay, what do I have for Reba?
Me and my heavy brain.
Okay. We have a dream catcher to catch her dreams from Bali.
Oh, that's pretty.
Thank you. My daughter is going to be so jealous. She loves dream catching.
Oh my goodness, from Bali.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty.
3 pounds. What do you think happens to the brain as we age gracefully? I'm going to add that. It shrinks, but it doesn't have to. It can actually expand. So this is all really great information to know that it's never too late and to learn new skills and adaptability in your business. So another question for you. Oh, by the way, I gave my fiance this quiz yesterday. He's like, you've never done this for one of your presents. You've given me quizzes before. You've never asked me questions. I'm like, well, I want to, come on. Like, I want to hear what you have to say. So the number one mistake entrepreneurs make in their business.
Not enough sleep.
Not enough sleep.
Do it alone.
Were you peeking on me last night?
You didn't mind though.
Doing it alone.
Doing it alone. Doing it alone. That is a high five. We're going to find something for you.
It's never much fun here.
Never. I have to pop in here for things. That's a planner calendar. So, doing it alone. wearing every hat.
Exhausting.
No wonder we can't do that 4 or 5 years. That's just exhausting. And because the first year of my business, I was still working in pharma, and I went to a conference, and the 2 coaches that put on the conference, I really liked them. Everything that they said resonated, and I really wanted to decrease the learning curve. And in becoming a speaker and launching my business coaching practice. And she gave the price of her first program. I almost fell off my chair, and then I really wanted to hire her. She was $100,000. But what impressed me was that she had 10 slots. And I come from the pharmaceutical industry, so I'm like a newbie. I'm sitting there watching everything, watching everyone, and going, this is like the coolest thing ever. I like her, I'd like to hire 100,000, what? Like, I've never heard of such a thing. This is crazy. My industry doesn't know about this. What's going on here? And people ran to sign up. And I was like, whoa, what's up with that? Like, I wanted her as my coach, but that wasn't possible. Right? So then later, when she offered another program at the end, and it was $37,000, it sounded like a good deal. It sounded like a bargain. So I actually signed up for that program. And I was very fearful. I was sitting there, I was looking at my credit cards. I was figuring out how many credit cards do I have? How am I going to split this up? What are my payments going to be? Like, I'm doing this whole calculation in my mind. Now, I was still working in the pharmaceutical industry, so I really like to say that because I'm not someone that says, like, jump, lead, the net will appear, but, not necessarily like the next month. Like, it takes... Everything is a building process, so I really like to reveal that. So I did sign up for that program, and it did take me a few years to pay those credit cards. But it was actually the best thing that I ever did, because I traveled with her to be an international speaker. I traveled, they filled the room, I got to learn from an expert. It would have taken me a decade or 2, maybe I would have never learned what I learned during that time, and I had to move through a lot of fear, but I knew I couldn't do it alone. And I knew I needed resources, and I also knew the resources were going to be in that room, because anybody else so the other people that were part of the groups that I was part of and traveling with me were also investing at that level. So that also meant their mindset was they're all in. I'm all in. You're doing that, you're all in. And so I knew that those were the people that I most likely was going to partner with in different aspects of my business. So grateful that I did that. That was, yeah. So now I want to jump into the 5 key habits. And I can't say that I've always had good habits, and I might have appeared to have good habits, so I want to be truthful about that. I had a successful career and all of that, so it looked pretty good, but behind the scenes I was sloppy. So there was a lot of stuff going on, and so I've had to make it my vision that these things apply to me. So discipline, number 1. When we think of someone, like I was just at Thomas Edison's house over on the West Coast, anyone go and see? Like the discipline that he had, like his laboratory there of getting up every morning and doing the research, a lot of it not working out and then still getting up every day and doing it again. Benjamin Franklin, anyone read his autobiography? And to see what his schedule was like, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and having a routine, like this really regular routine, and maybe that's not for everyone, but I this year have launched in just recently in April my YouTube channel, and for a YouTube channel it's like so new, and the key is to actually have your videos go up every week. It's very challenging to get it up every week, to be consistent with it, to have editing done. And so it's been like a discipline to have the days mapped out. And that's why I create these systems, these calendar systems, so that it helps to stay on track. So discipline. So if you're thinking of an area right now, anyone thinking? Anyone thinking? Anyone thinking? Anyone thinking? Okay, so I want to get back to our brain since we're talking about thinking and we're talking about discipline. So, what do you think is inside here? The key and the discipline for, I don't know, something's probably brewing inside there.
Neuropathways.
What is it?
Neuropathways.
Neuropathways, translated to
Electricity.
electricity. It's going to translate into feeling good and being happy and having success in our business. So the discipline is all in here. We already know it's there. We already know we got 100 billion neurons. We know that it weighs, so 3 pounds. So we know all that about our brain. But how often are we actually thinking about our brain and our mindset in that way? And so this concept here too about doing the important thing first. You guys remember Brian Tracy? You don't hear about him as much now. His book, what's his book? Eat this frog. Eat that frog. This frog, that frog. Eat a frog. Eat a frog. And if you were with my partner in Bali, she has you do frogs. Like these frogs. Like you have to do like 103 of them or something every day to clear your mind. So let's actually do the frogs. So do it first thing in the morning. Because that's when we have fewer fires. By 2 o'clock in the afternoon, how many fires? Like is our day now really our day? But at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, we turn our cell off and we turn off all the screens to all the social media, right? Yes. And then we can actually get our priority done for the day. And then how good do we feel for the rest of the day?
Incredible.
And when we feel incredible, then what happens just energetically? Everything flows.
Energy.
Yeah, energy, serotonin, we're feeling good, and then like attracts like, and then we're activating that whole law of attraction thing, and then we're attracting clients and good opportunities, great opportunities into our business. So focus. This goes along to the discipline. Follow one course until successful. Keep reminders on. The first time that I wrote a book, the way that I did it, and I did it in 60 days, was to have a timeline. I know, ouch on that. And it was, I won't say, I mean, it was not for the light of heart, for sure, but because I had a timeline, I was going to be at a trade show and I had already paid for it, that I had to get the book done. That meant I'm not able to look at social media. I'm not able to chit chat on the phone. I gotta go, I gotta get it done, I gotta get it done. But that was the only thing that I focused on. So that saying that what you focus on, you attract. So, but can you attract 20 things? So you can't really focus on 20 things. You can't even focus on 2 things. You can't focus on 2 things at one time. We think, I used to think that I could do 2 or 3 things at one time, but then there'd be like a little problem with this thing or a little problem with that thing, and I found that if I only focused on one thing, then I could complete it And that felt better than doing 3 things and maybe not as well. So the focus. Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs even took out of his life the focus on what he wore.
Yeah.
Think about how many successful people have done that. Who else has done that?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, who else? Einstein, who else? All of them. Mark Zuckerberg, all of them. They've taken out of the equation having to decide, focusing on what I'm going to wear. Like, what am I going to wear? Like, why use those brain cells, those neurons, to focus on something that's not as meaningful or important or going to take you to really where you want to go? So, organization. This, I have to say, my office looked okay, but like if you open the drawers, it was like, someone walks in your house, it's like, oh, it's really not. And it's not. And that has a feeling to it. And so this piece of organization has been a journey for me to actually live the truth of organization. When I say organization, not only in the house and in the drawers, but organization in your calendar, organization with your meetings. Like if everything is organized, then you don't have to take the time to find things. And that includes your mind. Like, so how to retrieve information. That's why writing things down and writing down your goals. How many of you, this is a question for yourself. You're not even gonna raise your hand. How many of you write down your financial goals? Me, no. This is a conversation that we have with ourselves, right? So the interesting thing about what we focus on and what we're organized around and what we're disciplined for is that when we're organized with our thoughts around money, and money in the world, this was interesting, stepping into the world of spirituality and entrepreneurship. Sometimes that's a taboo conversation, and it's our birthright to be abundantly prosperous in our business, because we're the ones that are going to go out and contribute and make a contribution. The first slide that I shared was I was able to take a group to Haiti and do some things with Frank McKinney over here, who builds houses in Haiti. It wouldn't be able to be done if there weren't some solid financial goals. So that's where we're going to say, so what's in here? We're going to see, can I give you that for a second? So it wasn't until to allow, the focus and the idea that money is a really good thing. It's energy, and it's positive energy. What I love about looking at the $100 bill, inside of your brain, and it's not just on the right side of the hemisphere, the left side, it's actually both sides. But I only had one $100 bill. I was going to tip a 50 over here. I only had one 100. Is that Benjamin Franklin right there represents all of these traits. Having discipline, being focused, being organized. Then on the other side of the $100 bill, it's whatever your faith is. It's in higher power, God, something bigger and greater that I trust. So that when our mindset is prosperity, when we allow ourselves a moment to say that's okay to have the mindset and to set goals, working for a big company, they talk about, they talk about financial goals all the time. And those are very important conversations that we have with ourselves. All of these traits also, what I have found, they relate back to what you believe in your worth is, like when you speak your prices, that you own what they are, and that, like, I work with my clients in saying what their business is, what their rates are, and to say it without hesitation, because that coach that said $100,000, like, she's in front of a room like, it's $100,000 and you know, I've only got 10 and it's the first 10 in the back of the room and people went running. But if she would like hesitate, her body language would have been anything that didn't own $100,000, people would have been like, I'm scared, like there's no way, she's not owning it. She owned it, she owned that $37,000. So when we see the people around us that are our role models, when we see them owning their price, and I'll share with you a Bali story. In Bali, one of the really nice perks, mind, body, high performance. We're talking about high performance, but I know I perform better if I get body work. Anybody in the room here do body work, or that's their business too, so a combination. So body work is so important, and one of the major advantages of going there is you get like a medical massage literally for $5 to $10. So you can get 3 hours for like $30, $40. Now their money exchange is very interesting. So $1 million, so if I take that $100 bill and I go into money exchange, what I'm going to get back is I'm going to get back 10 bills that are $1 million bills. So I'm getting back $1 million bills. I wish I would have brought back some $1 million bills and put that in the brain. $1 million bills, you're getting back all of this money, right? But the translation of it, like $1 million translates to like $70. So I was getting massages, and I was, you know, the first man that I used, a Balinese practitioner that I used a few years ago as well, he's $100,000. So $100,000, like $7. So he's $7. So I gave him $150,000. He's like, no, I'm only $100,000. I mean, I'm only giving him like the extra. It's not like, no, I'm giving you $150,000. Yeah, yes, you know. And so it took him a moment to actually receive it, like his body to be able to receive it. So then I had a massage from somebody else, and it was a great massage, and then he gave me his price. And this was after I had already gotten a number of massages. And he said $450,000. And because I was so used to hearing 100,000, that's like, whoa, 450,000? Like, wow. But if we do the math on that, it's like, what is that? Like $30 or I mean, that's like, but I loved that he owned that price. I looked at him and I said, that's fantastic. Like, it took me a moment because I was like, 450, whoa. And then I went, that is fantastic. You were so worth that. But by the way, the other guy was worth that too. The other guy was worth that too. So I only put that out there to all of us. And I'll share one, keep an eye on the time, but I'm going to share one little technique if this is an area for you where there's like a little something that comes up with owning that and speaking it out, using your voice like your throat to speak your truth, is to practice saying it over and over and over again, and record it in your phone in your voice, and listen to your voice over and over and over and over again, saying it so you can be congruent, where your thoughts match your feelings, that match your action, that everything is lined up, that you can be in your truth, and you can be in that practitioner that like owned his $450,000 So I want to say that. And that, by the way, it's still part of the discipline, because that's a lot of practice to get that and to feel that. It's part of focus, and focusing on our finances keeps us in business past 5 years, keeps us in business where we're prosperous, where we have lots of flow coming in, where we can make a bigger contribution in the world, and then to be organized around it, to say, how many clients do I need, to do the math, like how much money do I want to make this year? How much money, can think of it, how much money do I want to have in the bank? How much money do I want to make this year? How much then do I need to make each month? How much money does that mean every week? And then with every client, and in the most passionate, loving way of being in service of helping people. And then we're not doing it alone. And this part is fun, is to collaborate. With a group like this, and Anthony mentioned this about, the partnership and the relationship of, having a group like this. And I heard that coach that I worked with, it was two, David Neagle and Suzanne Evans, so I just kind of throw out their names, but they said something that rang true, so you love those things that you hear, that everything you need is in the room. There are a number of partnerships here right now, and those partnerships are in the same business too. So it can be 2 to 3 business coaches working together, and it's collaboration and not the competition. Listen, we know this. This is, I'm saying this, and you guys already know this. The idea around collaboration, authors, when you write a book, the way those books come to be bestsellers is because the collaborative partnerships that come up, and everybody then is promoting everyone. I got an email from someone who's launching an online program, and I'm launching an online program called Positive Habits 101. And it's very detailed. It has PDFs, it has worksheets, it has webinar, it has video, it's self-paced learning, and you can keep going back and seeing it over and over and over again. I'm launching it in like 4 days, like I'm launching it like this week. Been working on it like 2 years, long time. But I didn't know, I have a friend, she's a leader in this community. I actually invited her today. She couldn't make it, I'm sure she's gonna come. And she's launching an online program. And she had sent me an email. She doesn't know that I'm launching one. She sent me an email and she said, would you collaborate with me? Let's talk about what this can look like. And I'm gladly gonna do that, because she does, like, the standards, and what she does is so high. So everything she does is wonderful. So when we think, who can I help? Who can I partner with, and in what way can I partner? And I love that that's how you started the meeting today. Like, who'd you meet? Like, who'd you get to know? So I'm just saying, I look forward to meeting all of you, and then seeing all of those partnerships. Another industry around collaboration are doctors. What's the trend we've seen with doctors? The what? Plastic surgery. Well, that wasn't exactly the direction I was going in, but plastic surgery groups. I'm thinking more groups and collaboration. You see doctors that used to be like your mom and pop, like doctors, like and now they have formed partnerships. Bless you. Thank you. You're welcome. They have formed partnerships because what happens if they form partnerships? Who said that? Where'd that come from? Lower overhead. They can negotiate with the managed care plans. They get reduced rates. They can hub and use all of the labs and all the equipment, the MRIs and all that technology. So that, we're seeing more and more industries, and you would think like, hey, they're all gastroenterologists, like they're in different parts of town, like aren't they competitive? But they're all, if you look at them, they are all under one umbrella, like one group, and then they go to business meetings and they learn and they share resources together. So that's a really cool way to have fun in your business and to be able to talk shop, that you're not talking it with your significant other or like your kids. Like, you want to hear about what happened today? So collaboration, collaboration, collaboration.
So,
And celebration. So I've worked in a number of different partnerships over the years, from pharma to my coaching practice. And I've seen different styles. So I've seen some big wins and successes, and then moving on to the next thing. Like, what? We just did so much heavy lifting. Like, where's the party? Where's the party? And we're conditioned to keep doing. And again, back to why we're doing it anyway, for the quality of life. And the celebration thing, even if you just celebrate your win by getting a massage, back to the massage, to celebrate and to have something that's calling you in some way to celebrate life. The even small things, even really small things, that in some way you're celebrating every week. So who's got a good idea for celebration?
Stephen's birthday tonight.
yes.
Happy birthday. That's great.
The hardest.
Celebrating birthday for sure.
5-0. 8-5-0.
5-0?
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
yes. Do you want me to start the singing? Anybody share the mic with me on
Sure.
singing? All right, we're back.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday, dear Stephen. Happy birthday to you.
Good job. Fantastic voice. Thank you. That's awesome. Anybody else celebrating anything?
We're celebrating life today and every day.
Celebrating life
Today and every day.
today and every day.
Now, Wendi, that is such an important thing that you are highlighting. Oh, I mean, I don't really have it. I mean, I never really thought about it, but it's so critically important to continuing to have that enthusiasm about what you're doing to celebrate your successes. I mean, I never saw that particular habit highlighted, and I've seen a lot of people speak, and that's a very important thing to remember, to celebrate our successes or new relationships or
Getting out of old ones.
getting out of old ones,
Getting out of old ones.
losing
Yeah.
the baggage.
Yeah.
You know, that is, thank you for that. That's an amazing nugget. You do have to celebrate the successes. I have to do like call hour twice a day at my new job. You know, I haven't done that in a really, really long time. But I'm celebrating every hour that I get through, because it's not easy doing that kind of stuff in sales, you know, committing that time and getting through it, staying focused. But it should be a celebration every time I finish one of those hours, you know. So thank you for that. It's huge.
I think I do agree, and life is precious. So I want to really reiterate this point, because we were in Bali celebrating our, probably cried during this. I can feel it, so I'm just giving you a warning. All right, we're gonna
Deep breath.
It's okay.
breathe, smile, and cry. and cry, because sometimes life in the celebration is happy tears, and sometimes there's other stuff going on. So I shared when I first got here that I was up last night, and I was up all night last night, and we celebrated big at the end of our retreat in Bali. The retreat on a 1 to 10, I mean, it was like off the charts. And we had a big celebration. We had a white party. We had beautiful lights. It was fun. We had music. We had a performer come. It was just really, really fun because we worked hard. I mean, some people are like, how's the vacation? I'm like, it was a lot of work. I mean, like, it was working too. And whether you were like hosting the retreat or attending the retreat, you had a lot of mental work. You were releasing a lot. You were planning and organizing and strategizing for your life. It's like a lot to process, right? So we were celebrating that we all came together and we traveled and we did this. And then came home, and actually a couple days before I left, there was a little tremor there. There was a little tremor. And then there was a big tremor. So there was a big earthquake after I left. And a lot of people lost their lives. So what I have to say about that is that we never know in life. Like life, we never know what's going to happen. So the striving and striving and striving, we have so many wins, small wins. You got up, that's a win.
Yes.
You connected with family and friends, that's a win. You have a car, that's a win. You know, like all of these things are wins. And we can get into a place like where we're doing and going and feeling. And it's a reminder that life is so precious. And I'm happy that we celebrate. I'm happy that we pulled it full circle. And then also owning that life is fragile and to be cherished. And what we're going to remember, what stands out the most to me of the Bali trip is that celebration. That's what stands out most. And that's what's going to stand out the last day of our lives, are the times that we celebrated and we've loved and we've connected and we've been in our joy. So I want to close by saying, I don't know if I have another slide. No, perfect. So see the celebration right on note. Close by saying that question in our mind, like when we see this, but in joy. How can I bring more joy into my life? How can I bring more joy into my business? Because if you're the happiest salesperson, people are going to want to do business with you. You're the happiest business with a smile, customer service, people are going to want to do business with you. So that's my hope for you guys. So much joy and happiness in your business and in life.
Do we have any questions for Wendi before? Probably not. So one thing I want to share with you all is, as Wendi mentioned, she is launching her YouTube channel. I have seen several of the videos that she's put out so far, and they're really incredible. So I highly recommend, if you want to continue to follow her and get all of her wisdom, that you follow her. What's your YouTube channel?
Nice and easy. My name, Wendi with an I, then Blum, B-L-U-M.
Yes. So follow that today. She actually has some bags too. So if you follow it, you subscribe, she's gonna give that to you. Yes, we have a question. We have a question.
Want me to help you with it?
Oh, yeah. I'll just put these down, then we'll do it after.
Not only the mic.
Okay.
Wendy, can you come on my show?
Oh, I would be honored. The answer is yes. So, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, well, thank you so much, Wendi. It's so amazing. Who feels inspired right now? It's so important to all of us, everyone who owns a business. And the last one, celebration. I just want you to know that, I'm celebrating this moment of having Wendi here, of being able to listen to that incredible presentation, having all of you here. You all are my celebration. Like I really do feel that. I'm so grateful for you. I appreciate you all. And yeah, it's just been a wonderful morning. So thank you all.